Welcome to our complete 2025 Argentina Grand Prix explainer. Today, we're diving into the sources to bring you a start-to-finish race digest of the MotoGP class. This weekend down in South America was just wow, an absolute masterclass in tire management, intense high-speed sibling rivalry, and pure, unadulterated Ducati dominance. So let's just jump right into it.
We've got a great lineup today. First, we'll look at the qualifying results, then jump into the race start and development. After that, we're zeroing in on the Marquez brothers' battle, followed by the final race results, and wrapping it all up with the new championship point standings.
Section 1. Qualifying results. Low grip, high stakes.
You know how demanding the Termas to Rio Hondo circuit is, right? That slippery surface basically eats tires for breakfast, so nailing your machine setup is absolutely crucial, and Marc Marquez did exactly that on Saturday. He totally mastered those tricky conditions on his factory GP25, laying down a scorching 1 minute 36.917 for pole position. But check this out. Right on his heels, just a quarter of a second behind on last year's GP24, was his brother, Alex. Oh, and rounding out the front row, Johann Zarco surprisingly put his Castrol Honda up there in third. That is a massive leap in progress for the Japanese manufacturer.
Section 2. Race start and development. High-speed chess.
Sunday's 25-lap main event was literally an emotional roller coaster. Off the line, the tension was just palpable. By lap 4, Marc actually pushed a bit too hard, ran deep at turn 1, and handed the lead straight to Alex. Then, lap 15. My heart was literally in my mouth. Marc suffered a truly terrifying high-speed wobble at turn 6. I mean, the bike literally lifted him out of the seat, and his right foot shot completely off the foot peg. Somehow, he saved it. Unbelievable. He regrouped, and by lap 18, tried a sneaky ambush at turn 5, but it just didn't stick. Finally, lap 21. Having managed his tires just a fraction better, Marc made the decisive, calculated pass to grab the win. Now, we can't ignore the absolute masterclass happening further back in the pack. Japanese rider Ai Ogura put on a spectacular recovery ride on his Trackhouse Aprilia. Remember, a crash in Q1 left him starting way down in 15th. Well, he sliced through the field with absolute surgical precision to physically cross the finish line in 8th place. What a ride. Section 3. The Marquez brothers' battle. Sibling rivalry at 350 kilometers per hour. So the visual story of the weekend was undoubtedly that fierce wheel-to-wheel duel between the brothers, and Alex gave us some hilariously raw honesty post-race when people asked if he was showing his older brother too much respect. He completely bristled at the idea. He said, "I'm fighting with this bastard. It's Marc. He's 8 times a world champion. What do you want?" He made it abundantly clear that familiar respect goes right out the window the second divisors go down. He pushed his bike to the absolute limit to aggressively defend that lead. And you know what? That respect is totally mutual. Marc admitted he was taking massive risks to catch Alex, and then he dropped a total bombshell. He shockingly declared his younger brother as his primary threat for the 2025 title. So you've got to wonder, is this genuine family pride, or is Marc just starting the psychological warfare early to rattle his factory teammate Pecco Bagnaia? Honestly, either way, Alex is riding in the form of his life right now.
Section 4. Final race results. A historic weekend. After 25 grueling laps of tire degradation and tactics, the final standings cemented an unbelievable weekend for the Bologna Bullets. Just look at this top 5. It is a complete and total Ducati lockout. Marc and Alex brought home that dominant family 1-2. Then we had Franco Morbidelli claiming a super emotional 3rd place, his first podium since 2021. Reigning champ Pecco Bagnaia struggled with rear tire control all weekend and had to settle for 4th, and Gianantonio rounded out the top 5. Oh, and by the way, this marks Ducati's 19th consecutive Grand Prix victory. Insane. But there was a really heartbreaking postscript to these results. You remember Io Ogura's brilliant charge to 8th place we just talked about? Completely erased. Post-race, the FIM stewards disqualified him because his Trackhouse racing team accidentally installed an unapproved software version on his bike's ECU. It was just a devastating administrative error that cost him 8 really hard-earned championship points.
Section 5. Championship point standings. The landscape reshaped.
So the dust is settled and the championship landscape is looking wild. Marc Marquez is extending his lead with a perfect 74 points. That's 4 wins out of 4 if we count the sprints. Alex is sitting pretty in second with 58 points. But the real shocker is the reigning champ. Pecco Bagnaia is already trailing Marc by a massive 31 points. Bagnaia openly admitted it himself. Last year, his bike situation was worse, but this year,
His opponent simply isn't making any mistakes. Which leads us perfectly into our final thought for the day. We are packing up and heading to the Circuit of the Americas in Texas next. And keep in mind, that's a track where Marc Marquez has won 7 out of 10 times. So, the ultimate question is this. With the Marquez brothers completely dominating on Ducati machinery, and the reigning champion struggling to find his rhythm, can absolutely anyone stop their total domination? Keep that in mind as we count down to the next race. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and we'll see you next time.